Hey everyone, it's Cindy at Shenandoah Papercraft. I'm warning you ahead of time, this is a handheld video, so it's going to be a little jiggly and I apologize. But the stuff I'm going to show you is so big, there's no way it would fit on my little table. You see this basket in front of you? In that basket is a year and a half's worth of collections of items that I will be using to make approximately 4 farmhouse journals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty this bin out and show you what I'm starting off with. So again, I apologize. It's going to be jiggly. I'm hand holding it in my dining room here on my chicken tablecloth, which I adore. Look at this. Isn't that cute? That's like my favorite vintage tablecloth. I love it so much. I thought it was appropriate for this video. So again, I'm going to be emptying this out and talking about what my plans might be. The first thing out of the bin are 2 Better Homes and Gardens cookbooks. I think one is from the early 60s and one is from 1981, I believe. So I'm going to use one of these for my primary farm book, and this one is going to be about the farmer's wife. So I'm choosing between one of these two. I've got things falling out already. I will show you some of my inspiration pieces for this. My first piece of inspiration is a magazine, and this is from June of 1920, and it's called The Farmer's Wife, and inside is everything a farmer's wife needs to know to make her farmhouse kitchen shine, to make her living room look neat, how to can foods, how to do everything that a farmer's wife needs to do. And it's so full of ads, and it's just beautiful. So this would be my initial inspiration for the cookbook. I'm just going to grab one of these. I don't know which one of the 2 I'm going to be using. But as you can see, of course, it's the red and white plaid that we're familiar with. So along with the farmer's wife, I also have a lot of textiles here, vintage textiles. This stuff is old, with red trim, red and white trim, some old eyelet. I've got a lot of different ribbons which are going to go across all 4 of the books I plan on making, which may take me a year, who knows. There's twine, there's the ribbons. I've got little burlap pieces here. I've got doilies, lots of doilies. And a lot of textiles that I pulled that look kind of vintagey and farm-like. Of course, we all like our ticking, so that'll be part of it. So this is the textile pile that I plan on using. I don't know how I fit all this in this bin right here, but that's where it's coming from. So that's number 1 I'm going to show you are the textiles and the inspiration for the cookbook. The other thing that inspired me to go with the plaid red and white theme is not only do I have a lot of trims and fabric pieces, I have an actual photograph of my grandmother and her 2 sisters in their red plaid aprons. How do I know this is a red plaid apron? Because I have the original, and I don't have it with me at the moment, but I'll be incorporating her red plaid apron into this book somehow. So this is my grandmother on the right here, in hers, and her 2 sisters. So I will bring that apron out when I get to it and show that to you. And of course, I have tons of these little recipe books and a beautiful red plaid apron on mother and daughter. So that's my theme. It's going to be red plaid, and I've got other things that can go with this theme. I've got recipe books galore. I've got more red plaid. So we'll see where this takes us with the farmer's wife book. Here's a few more things I was going to put in the farmer's wife. Here's a wax paper bag with apples on it, and inside are several photos. Here's a bigger one of my grandmother and just various farm women. This one's cute. All these beautiful women on the farm. This one's interesting. This is a farm, but it's in France. That little boy is my grandfather. The lady on the left is my great-grandmother. And the lady on the right is my great-great-grandmother. And this is their little farm in France. And then I'm just pulling things out that look like they'd go in a farmer's wife journal. Lots of food, lots of just ads, corn stalks. Whoops. They were together at one point. Just ads, things that would be useful for a farmer's wife. Lots of vegetables. Here are some old, this is a book of old trading stamps. Some farming ads. This can be used in any of the farming books. Just lots of different things to go. I've got actual seeds for the garden. That big strawberry. Nancy, you gave me that. Here's some beans and carrots, tomatoes, you name it, it's in here. There's receipts from the food store, little recipes. Something's in there. Yeah, just all kinds of neat things that could go into the Farmer's Wife book. Recipe cards. Green stamps again. Here's a tag I made. This is cute fabric. I can use that in there somehow. And again, just some random stuff that I can put into one or more actually of these journals. Book number 2 is going to be more like an antique kind of a book. I have this gorgeous green book that I've been wanting to do something with for a long time. And it's perfect for a green farmer's book, an antique one. I've got this vintage postcard of cows. And I was lucky enough to grab a bunch of actual farm photos that I have been scanning. I'd like to keep the originals intact. I will use the originals where I can, but if they're fading and stuff, I want to make sure I preserve them and use my copies instead. But I do have the originals of all the pictures that I'm going to be putting in here. Here's some of them right here. And they're all from farmhouses, all of them. So I thought these were kind of neat, and these are the ones I scanned of my originals. So you can see I have lots of farm pictures to put in. Here again is the book. I've started to pull some papers together for a signature, but I'm going to be, doing something quite antique-y with it. Sorry, it's jiggling. I have removed the pages from this old book because they were literally falling apart. They're very brittle and they just cracked all over the place. So I didn't feel too bad about gutting this book. I have 2 signatures started here. And some of these pages are from Sam Poole. Some of them I've had in my computer and I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll make sure and list them in the final showing of it, of what pages these are. And it's just a mix of papers. I'm taking book pages out of old farming books. Here's some old barn plans. This is a real photo of a barn right here, an old farmer in the doorway there. So that's one of my original pictures. And it's just, here's a silo and the silo plans. So I'm just starting to kind of pull things together here. And oh, here's a horse and buggy on the farm. It's a vintage postcard. So this one is going to be more of an antique style book. And in this little box here, I've just got all kinds of stuff. Another farmer's wife cover that'll probably go with the other thing. Here I've got some antique doilies, and I've got all kinds of antique photographs in this one. Look at that one. It's a greeting card. And again, I've got all kinds of vintage photos of farm people and farm life. There's a family in front of their barn. I love this one. Look at this one. So I'm not short on photographs for this. And I've got some rusty things. I rusted little cows, just random stuff. Meat and vegetable labels here. Old ads. Just all kinds of things in here. Oh, clothesline. Some original green stamps here. So in this box we've got, you name it. So that's another box. I'm sorry this video is pretty awful, I'm sure, but I can't do this on my little table. So let me show you my next batch. The next batch is all about the farmer himself, and I've pulled a lot of my old farming photos out of these gentlemen. They're all farmers, as you can tell. Even some Tim Holtz guys. And I've just got all kinds of little, some of these are downloads, some of it's original that I can put in there. I found this fabric, which would be cute for a cover. I have the Successful Farming book. This is from, I'm not sure, probably the 30s or 40s. So I've got that. I've got some vintage catalog photos. What is it? The JCPenney catalog, possibly, for overalls. I've got receipts for 1961 from Jack Wilson Ice and Coal. I've got bank checks from the Pierce Brothers Dairy Farms. Books on how to grow your crops better. I've got this old book. This is pretty cool. Of how to care and treatment of stock and poultry. That goes with my plaid. Some random stuff. Oh, this one's neat. This is More Farmers Use Armor Fertilizers, and it's just a notebook inside, and with a lot of advertisement for fertilizer. So that would be the starting point of my regular farmer's journal. So what's that? Number 3. This is number 4, and this one's going to be a children's book. I got this old farm-shaped book, and I took it apart, and I started cutting paper out in the same shape as the barn and the pages. So what I'm doing is I'm putting back some of the pages, but I've got I've made gray pages that are the same shape and backed them, and then I'm putting in all kinds of kid things for this. Farmer in the Dell, you know, just all kinds of kid things. Here's horses, horse riding. Here's some actual photos of kids riding horses. I love this photo. Here's sorry about the glare. A kid on a tractor, and here's Dad on the tractor. So I'm trying to match up some of the photos I have with the pages I'm making. So that'll be the child's book, and I've got other children's books that have farm things in it, like The Hen on the Farm, Tractor, Apple, Animals to Me, little carrot trim. This is a pocket I made from Old MacDonald's sheet music, and I just folded it up, and inside of it I've got some things in here that I might use on there. Here's the tractor. Here's some farm boys. Just some of those things. And then I've got a lot of real photos. Now this, believe it or not, is my father and his twin brother. They are fraternal twins, as you can tell. My dad is on the right. And here they are again. My dad is, which one's my dad? My dad's on the right again. But they're at the farm playing. And I've got all kinds of kids on the farm. These are the ones that aren't real photos. I've scanned off the real photos. This is my great aunt. Because some of them are pretty faint and I had to scan them or they're pretty fragile. So I've just, tons of photos. Look at all these kids on this farm. This little boy out in the middle of, I don't know what. He's cute. I might put that in my red plaid book. Look at this guy. He's cute. Look at his knees are all scabbed up. So that'll be another book. I think that's 4 that I've said. I can probably make a couple more, but I need to stop on the farms. Now I'm left with what's in the bottom of the bin here. And I've got a bag of milk caps here. I've got some washi tape with different products on it. I've got more stuff in the bottom down here. And in here I've got lots of recipe things. I've got tons of scrap paper to use. Country kitchen stickers. Chickens. All kinds of neat things in here. Oh, and more books, recipe books. I've got magazines, pages, and I've got another vintage towel up here. So anyway, I'm going to stop with the jiggly video, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of this stuff, and let's see how long it takes me to make it. Have a great rest of your week.